I need your help. Okay, let me fill you in on this situation real quick. See, I am a self-proclaimed videographer, except this is my camera. It's basically more of a glorified camcorder than anything, but it's very budget, and it shows. So needless to say, I'm looking to buy a new camera, and I was specifically looking at the used market, and I now have two options that I'm considering, and genuinely I don't know which one to go with. So listing number one is for a Sony ZV-E10, going for about $650, and it comes with the body and a kit lens. Now if I were to go with something like this, I'd probably also buy another lens for like say $350, so we're looking at around $1,000 right out the gate for this setup. But here's the problem. I was searching around on eBay and found a pretty reputable seller selling a Sony a7 II, bundled with a bunch of other stuff. There's like a 28 to 70 millimeter f3.5 lens, a bunch of batteries, a camera bag, an SD card, a bunch of other stuff for less than $800. This might just sound pretty obvious. The a7 II is obviously a better camera, so just go with that. But hang on. The biggest problem for me comes down to sensor size. See, the a7 II has a full framed sensor, so it's much larger and can let in a lot more light compared to the ZV-E10, which has an APS-C sensor, which is basically a cropped sensor and is much smaller, but it's overall simpler and probably more fit for someone at my skill level. Specifically when it comes down to the lenses you buy. See, in my experience and research, full frame lenses are a lot more difficult to find, but also just much more expensive because you're paying for a larger size. It's more premium. APS-C, on the other hand, appears to be much more readily available on places like Amazon. There's a ton of options, but also they're pretty budget friendly as well. So if I got the a7 II bundle, I would be spending less money right now, but overall it'd be more expensive and more complicated to learn in the future. Another thing to this is that you don't really want to use an APS-C lens with a full frame sensor, because at that point you are severely cutting back on the quality of your product, because the sensor in the lens is much smaller than the sensor in the camera. So by using a camera with a full frame sensor, you're kind of also forcing yourself to use full frame lenses so that you don't cut back on any quality. Also consider the a7 II is a much older camera, and the ZV-E10 beats it in the area of just having newer and better features. So what do you guys think? Do I spend more right now for more of a budget product, but that's also more at my skill level, or do I buy the older camera with the larger sensor, which is overall much more professional, but probably above my pay grade, and lock myself in only ever using full frame lenses? I do feel like I know what I want to do, but please leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments down below, because I'm really curious what you guys have to say. Man, 3-minute YouTube shorts are crazy. If you somehow made it to the end, you're an absolute legend. Also subscribe to see what I end up doing.